about the heating assistance really as we're getting into one of the longer, colder stretches of the season.
Yeah, definitely. I actually looked up December. I was curious, and we ended up kind of in the middle there. It wasn't abnormally cold or abnormally warm. This next 7 days will be below average.
Set us back.
It's the overnights that you notice that, and your heating demand goes up a lot when you get down in the single digits, which we'll have. I'll show you that in a second. The wind, though, was a story again today, second day in a row. The winds were not as strong today as they were yesterday, but we gusted to 37 miles an hour in Portland, 40 in Greenville, 44 miles an hour in Millinocket, so noticeably windy. They have settled now down into the teens to 20s for wind gusts out of the west-northwest. Still notice them tonight. You'll even notice the breeze again tomorrow, but we are slowly kind of descending from our stronger wind gusts that we had yesterday. Now, because the winds will be a little bit flatter tonight as opposed to last night, temperatures will drop more rapidly because long story short, the wind kind of mixes the atmosphere and doesn't allow it to cool off as quickly. So when the winds settle, we cool down more quickly. We'll be down into the teens pretty much everywhere, right around 20 along the coastline later tonight, early tomorrow morning. And we stay in the 20s all day tomorrow, mixture of sun and clouds. The mountains stay in the teens, if that, and then we drop very quickly on Saturday night down into the single digits for most spots, down to about 10 or so along the coastline. That's what we'll be on Sunday morning. And Sunday is actually a colder day than Saturday. I think even the coast will likely stay sub 20. Most of us will stay in the teens. The mountains will stay potentially in the single digits all day. So if you're thinking about skiing or anything in the higher terrain, it is going to be noticeably and somewhat dangerously cold there on Sunday. So you got to have the right gear. And that continues into Sunday night and Monday. Look at those temperatures dropping down below zero on Sunday evening. The weenies are upset. The weather weenies are upset here because it looked like a couple of days ago maybe that this pattern would be ripe for cold and snow. But actually, it's just the cold. The storm track is suppressed to our south over the next 7 days. And so the mid-Atlantic will do better than us in snow, which we don't say very often. These storms sailing to our south, we stay on the cold side. So the pattern produced half of it, but not the whole part. And the half of it, you'll notice, again, especially overnight, temperatures dropping down to the single digits Sunday morning, Monday morning, Tuesday morning, away from the immediate coastline. Even the coastline is probably about 10 to 12 degrees. And of course, the mountains will be colder. This is kind of an average of all of those. And quietly, we've fallen below average for snowfall. We had a couple of little storms, nothing too big, and now we're going through a stretch where there's nothing going on, and that will continue. So the deficit will continue, which is something we've gotten used to over the past 5 years or so, where we really haven't had all that much snow. Still plenty of winter yet to go, though, and a lot of the winters in this, say, 2015 to 2018 period that were decent winters, guys, they peaked late. They were February, March winters, and that's something I've noticed across the Northeast. Is early winter is pretty impossible to get good storms. They tend to be later in the season. So we'll see. Until then, it's cold and windy, annoyingly windy.
That is going to hold on for a while.
Yeah.
All right, Keith, thanks.